Yeah, people will think you're weird or people will judge you, but we are all human beings that are craving connection. The way that my life has improved purely by emphasizing my social relationships and getting to know and talking to strangers and also deepening the relationships that I have, it's beautiful. Hey everyone, I am so excited to talk about this topic. Like, I am genuine. This is my favorite topic I've ever talked about, and it is because it's something that I'm genuinely passionate about, and that's social confidence, and that is social skills and being comfortable in front of crowds and with new people, because it has been a lifelong project of mine to learn social confidence and to become more confident in front of people. When I was young, I was so introverted and so shy that my parents wanted to send me to someone, like a therapist. They used to tell me how I was so shy and I would keep to myself, that they were concerned for me socially. There were a lot of insecurities that came with that. Over the course of many years, and a lot of experimentation, I have really shifted. Like, I have become an incredibly loud, extroverted personality. And if you talk to any of my friends, I'm someone that loves to talk to like waiters at the restaurants or cashiers, or if I'm at the gym or if I'm at the coffee shop. I love to talk to strangers. I have this genuine love for people. And I'm telling you right now, that was not who I was before. Okay, so one of the best and most essential ways that I've learned social confidence is this one thing, and it is exposure therapy. And I know it's a bit direct and it's not the magic that you wanted to hear, but I'm telling you this right now. Exposure therapy is what is going to get you your foot in the door towards learning social confidence, because the only thing that's going to get you really to learn to be more confident in front of people is to go in front of people. And that is something that I learned the hard way. It was really in the last 5 years that I really tested my social capacity. And I would do these challenges. There was this 1 year where I did 365 days of discomfort, and I did things completely out of my comfort zone. Every day I basically said, I'm going to do something out of my comfort zone. And a lot of the things that were out of my comfort zone were talking to people and talking to strangers. And talking to strangers, I'm telling you right now, talking to strangers has been the best way for me to gain social confidence. It is terrifying. Valid. Like, it's terrifying to talk to strangers. And like, I established this impulse, for the lack of a better word, an impulse. When I am in a group and I'm scared to talk to someone, that's when I know I have to talk to them. And not like a scared, like scared for my life type. If I feel a bit nervous to talk to people, or I feel self-conscious, that's when I know I'm going to talk to someone. That's when I know that I have to push myself, that I get to push myself and talk to this stranger, talk to this person. If I'm in line at a coffee shop and I feel a bit socially anxious, okay, I have this feeling, let me do the opposite and talk to this person and have a conversation. And it's almost been where it's like this anxiety that I feel towards talking to people, I have reframed that anxiety as an indicator or form of excitement. Like, okay, cool. I know that I'm having this feeling. Let me do this. And so I've almost Pavlovian dogged myself into, when I feel nervous to talk to someone, then I talk to someone. And that has been incredibly supportive in really helping me learn social confidence, because no matter how I feel, I do the opposite action. And I have also learned so many rewards from that. I've had incredible conversations. I've made some really great friends. And I've been able to understand from constantly repeating the pattern that when I get out of my comfort zone and I talk to a stranger, or I talk to someone when I don't necessarily feel like it, or I'm scared to, then I get rewarded by these incredible conversations, by new friendships. I've even dated a couple people from this method accidentally. And it's been really cool, because when you put yourself out there, you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, you don't know what's going to result from this experience. And 9 times out of 10, it's a really cool experience. And so by constantly having exposure therapy, I have constantly been rewarded. And that's what I realized too. I have had so many insane experiences because I've been willing to do exposure therapy. I was at a camera shop one day when I was living in New York, and this guy had all of this equipment, and I was super curious, and he was standing behind me in line, and instead of just standing there and not talking to him, I just got curious, and I was like, hey, like, what are you doing? And he ended up being this fashion designer who was doing a music video, and we exchanged Instagrams and stayed connected. And then maybe like 4 months later, he invited me to do photography for for him at New York Fashion Week. And he was like one of the youngest designers to be featured at New York Fashion Week. He was like 23 years old. And the only way I could have been exposed to that is because I was willing to talk to a stranger, even though it was scary. Constantly just utilizing this method and understanding that if I get out of my comfort zone, then I get rewarded with these interesting experiences. And doing that over and over again has made and created a philosophy for myself, knowing that when I get out of my comfort zone and I talk to strangers, then my quality of life increases. You know, you could challenge yourself for 21 days to talk to a new stranger every day. One of my mentors, he was like, challenge yourself to talk to someone every day for like 30 days and like give them a call. Like someone in your life, right? To learn more intimacy and to learn deeper social skills. And that's something that I did for a period of time. And that was really, really helpful. At the end of the day, it really is all about exposure therapy and risking that like awkwardness or that fear, because on the other side truly is rewards. And when you keep on doing that, you really, really solidify that philosophy that there is reward on the other side of challenging your comfort zone. Challenging the philosophies of like fear of being judged or fear of people thinking you're weird, or because like, yeah, people will think you're weird or people will judge you, but honest to God, 99% of the time, people are up for like a quick, sweet, casual conversation. Or of course, like people want to talk about themselves or get to know someone on a deeper level. What I've come to realize, we are all human beings that are craving connection. Life is all about connections. It's all about relationships. Humans were meant to be connected. Like human connection is a part of quality of life for so many people. In the blue zones, 6, 7 zones in the world where people live past 100, where there is the largest amount of centenarians, people living past 100 in the world. And one of the biggest aspects of the reasons why these people stay alive for as long as they do is because they have a sense of community. There are only upsides to learning social confidence and deepening your relationships with people and talking to strangers. Like, it's gonna be awkward and scary at first, but it's genuinely so worth it. Okay, another part that genuinely helped me improve my social confidence was accepting all aspects of who I was. A big part of learning social confidence was learning to love myself, and even maybe not love fully all the way, but accept myself for who I was. I've been to therapy for the last 5 years, and I just finished a 4.5-month, very intense self-development program that helped me learn to accept all parts of myself, both the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful, and seeing all the beauty in all aspects of myself. And I'm not saying that you have to do 5 years of therapy and do all these like self-development programs and coaching, but working towards accepting and loving the person that you are with all the quirks has helped me so much in my social confidence, because accepting myself in the way that I react to myself and carry myself in the world, people react to that and people mirror that. Like, I am a very loud personality, and when I'm with my friends and when I'm out there, like I don't hold back in terms of who I am. I'm just very okay being very loud, very out there. My whole life, I really felt bad about myself because I knew that I was different than my family system in a lot of ways. And I felt like I was too much all the time. Like, I felt there was something wrong with me because I was too much, or I was a little bit strange, or I was a little bit like off, and I had to be fixed. And so I carried myself as a walking apology, and people reacted and they mirrored me in that way where it's like, I can't describe it necessarily, but people mirrored the way that I felt about myself. And I was blocked off, so people would be blocked off. But then when I became more open with who I was and more accepting about who I was and carried myself more with an open heart, people responded accordingly. And it's wild how much your energy and how you carry yourself in the world is so much replicated back to you. It's really quite confusing sometimes. Like, I'd say that for myself, when I carry myself through the world, even strangers are very open to me. I'll talk to people at the cash register. I'll talk to strangers on the street. Like, if I'm at the beach, it has been this crazy experience where, like, because I'm very, very comfortable with who I am, it has responded and reflected back in how people feel about me. Like, in a lot of ways, I feel like people feel about you the way that you feel about yourself. Not necessarily all the time, but that has been so much of what I've experienced, is that people respond to me the way that I respond to myself. Like, how I treat myself very much indicates to people how they should treat me. And that doesn't happen all the time, but it's very much been a big pattern that has happened in my life. And so coming to accept myself and being more open-hearted and being someone that loves all aspects of myself has been very, very supportive. And it has helped me be more confident with people and in the world, because I'm excited. Like, I think that I'm someone that deserves to have good friends, and I'm someone that deserves to have a community of people. Like, I'm someone where, like, I know that if I enter your life, like, it's going to be a privilege, and it's going to be like, I'm going to be someone that will add light and joy and happiness to your life. And because of that, like, I'm going to carry myself not as an apology, but like as like a walking gift, as someone who carries myself in the world because I'm worthy and I am deserving, and I attract people who think about me accordingly. And that has been a huge, huge shift and a huge, huge gift. And the last thing that has genuinely helped me become more socially confident is having a curiosity and interest in people. I love people. Like, I love and I am so interested in people and getting to know people and humanity and humans in general. I remember I was actually on a date once, and I was talking to this guy, and he went to the bathroom, and so I was just talking to people on the tables next to me, and he came back and saw that I was chatting, and he was like, "Why do you feel the obligation to talk to people like so often?" And I told him, "I'm so curious. I'm alone here, but there are so many interesting humans having interesting conversations around me. What are they talking about? Like, who are these people? Like, what are their stories? I'm so fascinated to know about them and learn about why they're here. What are they doing? What are their hopes and dreams? What do they want out of their lives? I'm just sitting here, but instead of sitting here, I could be talking to someone and learning about them and learning about their life. Like, that sounds much more interesting than just sitting here and not talking to anyone." And it's because I'm genuinely curious. Every person is so fascinating, and they have this whole world and this whole life of stories and experiences and lessons. And why would I not want to learn? Why would I not want to experience and learn about these people in this world? I think what confuses me even more now is, like, why wouldn't you? Every person has lessons in their lives and experiences that are more valuable than something you can get out of a textbook. It's about the very core of what it is to get to know human beings and how I feel about people and humans. And you know, it's about exposing yourself to, like, the scary aspects, for sure. It's about, like, accepting myself as I am. And it's about genuinely being curious about other people, because that comes from the heart and it's not about me. Like, it's genuinely, like, being social isn't even about me. Like, yes, it's about being comfortable in myself, but it's at the same time, it's like being social is about other people. So if it's about other people, then I'm curious about these other people. Like, it has nothing to do with me. These are the 3 things that have really helped me. And what I would say is this, like, if you're struggling with social anxiety, which I can completely relate to, and something that I have spent a very, very long time dealing with, is challenge it. What if you talk to that stranger at a coffee shop? Or what if you talk to someone sitting next to you while you're studying at the library? What would happen? If it doesn't work out and they don't want to talk to you, that's fine. But you know what? You faced a fear. And that gives you more confidence in general as a human being, because you faced a fear of talking to someone. And then if you talk to someone with this genuine curiosity to, like, hey, and, like, ask them, like, hey, what's your story? That's going to be an interesting conversation. This world is big and beautiful, and so many people have lived different kinds of lives. Be curious. Not a lot of people are curious in this world about other people. You know, a lot of them are just more curious about themselves and don't really listen. But if you're someone that actually listens, that's genuinely curious about other people, and you're comfortable with who you are, and at least you're learning day by day to be comfortable with who you are, life becomes different. And the way you experience life becomes very, very different. And talking to people and being socially confident, there are only benefits. And it's a step-by-step process. It doesn't happen overnight. I mean, for me, it's taken many, many years and a lot of exposure therapy, but I've gotten to this point where I genuinely love people. And yeah, there are times when I get a bit anxious. There are times when I get self-conscious, but that's okay, because life is all about learning. And social confidence is a day-by-day practice. So talk to a stranger. Get to know someone on a little bit of a deeper level. You're only going to get a reward, and if things don't work out, at least you face the fear. And that, my friends, is the most rewarding part of all. So thank you so much for listening, for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful day, a beautiful life. You make some new friends today.